Okay, if you are in 7 Excel, we're working from the Advanced 2 textbook. If you are in Math 8, we're working from the Course 3 textbook. We are still doing lesson 1.1, example 4, and it can be found on page 6. So we're going to be looking at word problems, creating equations, and solving them. And the only way to do this, really, you got to practice. You got to figure out what the important information is, and you got to practice. So that's what we're doing. The melting point of a solid is the temperature at which the solid becomes a liquid. That's a definition. We don't really need that. That's science stuff, not our math stuff. So we don't really need that. The melting point of bromide is 1/30 of the melting point of nitrogen. That we need. Write and solve an equation to find the melting point of nitrogen. Okay, we're going to take all of these words and we're just going to pull out the important information. And fortunately for us, they're giving us the information in order. So we have the melting point of bromide. Bromine is 1/30 of the melting point of nitrogen. Okay, so out of this whole problem, this is the information we need. This is a little bit easier to work with. The melting point of bromine is 1/30 of the melting point of nitrogen. Here's the important information. So now we're going to turn this information into an equation. Let's turn the information into an equation. Bromine is 1/30 of nitrogen. Is means equals, of means multiplication. So we've taken the information, we've turned it into an equation. Now we're going to substitute the information that we have. So here, this is telling me the melting point of bromine is -7. So I'm going to substitute -7 for bromine. Is 1/30 of, and then this is telling me write and solve an equation to find the melting point of nitrogen. This is what we're looking for. It's what we don't know. So I can leave it as N. So we took the information, we turned it into an equation, we substituted, now we're going to solve. So the first thing we do, we isolate the variable. We want to get rid of this 1/30, so we're going to multiply by 30/1. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. Okay, my 30s cancel, my 1s cancel, and I'm left with nitrogen equals, I have a positive and a negative. I'm multiplying a positive and a negative, so my answer is negative. And 30 times 7 is 210. So just getting an answer is not enough. You need to know what that answer means. And what this answer means is the melting point of nitrogen is -210 degrees Celsius. So when you're doing word problems, getting an answer is not enough. You have to understand what that answer means. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another problem. Let's take a look at this problem. The melting point of mercury is about 1/4 of the melting point of krypton. The melting point of mercury is -39 degrees Celsius. Write and solve an equation to find the melting point of krypton. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull out the important information. And we're very fortunate that they're giving us the information in order, in the order that we need it. So we have the melting point of mercury is about 1/4 of the melting point of krypton. I feel like I'm in a Superman movie. The melting point of krypton. So we pulled out the information. We're looking for the melting point of krypton. So let's turn this information into an equation. The melting point of mercury means equals 1/4 of means multiplication, the melting point of krypton. So we took our information, we turned it into an equation. Now let's start substitution. The melting point of mercury is -39 degrees Celsius. So we're going to substitute -39 for mercury equals 1/4 times krypton. Krypton is what we're looking for. So we took the information, we turned it into an equation, and we substituted. Now we can solve. So I'm going to isolate my variable. I want to get rid of this 1/4. So we're going to multiply by 4/1. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. My 4's cancel. My 1's cancel. I've got K equals a multiplying a positive and a negative. So my answer is going to be negative. 4 times 39 is 156. So -156. Now, just getting a number is not okay. You have to understand what that number means. So what this is telling us is the melting point of krypton is -150 degrees Celsius. Okay, for homework, we've got 3 word problems. Or your assignment, excuse me. We have 3 word problems. We've got 41, 42, and 43. And I want to set these up with you before I release you. So let's take a look at 41. Some ant species can carry 50 times their body weight. It takes 32 ants to carry the cherry. About how much does each ant weigh? So what I see here, when I look at this, I see the cherry, and it takes 32 ants. It's taking 32 ants to carry the cherry, right? And this is telling me that each ant can carry 50 times their weight. So one ant can carry 50 times their weight, but I have 32. So that's going to be multiplication. So this is multiplication. For one ant can carry 50 times their own weight. So one ant can carry 50 times their weight. We have 32 ants. We're going to multiply, and it took 32 ants to carry the cherry. So this is how I see it working. Now we're going to substitute. The cherry is 4,800 milligrams equals 32. I'm going to take ants out, 32 ants, because this here is an ant. 50W. We want to know the weight of one ant, and there's 32 of them. So it took 32 to carry this, and one ant can carry 50 times its weight. So this is the equation. But when we get ready to solve this, I have a 32 times a 50 times W. This is what we did yesterday. You're probably going to have to solve that first. Okay. Now let's take a look at this goofy guy. One-fourth of the girls and 1/8 of the boys in a class retake their school pictures. The photographer retakes pictures for 16 girls and 7 boys. How many students are in the class? So we have 1/4 of the girls and 1/8 of the boys that retake their pictures. So 1/4 of the girls is equal to 16, and 1/8 of the boys is equal to 7. So you're going to have to figure out the total girls, and means plus, the total boys. When you add those together, you will get the total students. And then last but not least, number 43. I am not going to set this one up for you because they've already given you the equation. Volume equals base times height. They're giving you the volume, 1,122 cubic inches. And they're giving you the base, 93.5 inches squared. So if you have the volume and the base, can you figure out the height? Yes. I hope so.